Sometimes last week, Julian of the AdonisJS core team released the official AdonisJS VS Code extension. And as you can see, with this one extension, you can do things like run ACE commands, view your application routes, open and see the Adonis documentation all within VS Code, schema validation for the .adonisrc.json file, Edge support, such as syntax highlighting and formatting, Edge and AdonisJS snippets, as well as ability to go to views and controllers. So in this video, I will be installing and setting up the extension. Then I will explore some of its features. We can either install it by clicking this button or head over to VS Code and search for the extension. So we are going to search for AdonisJS. And this is the one we want, the official VS Code extension for AdonisJS. Before the release of this extension, I do use a particular extension to have syntax highlighting and snippets for my Edge files. So if I open a view, as you can see, there is syntax highlighting, and I also have snippets. Now I'm going to disable that extension. And then I have to reload. Now you will notice we no longer have syntax highlighting, and we no longer have the appropriate file icon. So now let's install the official extension. The extension has been installed. Now let's explore its features. We are going to start with Edge support. We now have the appropriate file icon for Edge files. And again, we now have syntax highlighting as well as snippets. Also, we can go to views or partials by holding down the Option key or Alt key if you're on Windows and click. Next, let's take a look at how the extension handles routes. Just as we have with views, we can Option click to go to the controller method. We also get autocomplete for the controller and method name. So if I get rid of this, and if I start typing register controller, I should get autocomplete, but that is not working for me. Might probably be because I have tweaked the structure of my routes from the default one. Maybe. Let's look at other things we can do with the extension. So we have validation and autocompletion of the .adonisrc.json file. Let's say I want to enter a new option. I get autocompletion of the possible options available, and it is smart enough to know the ones that I have already added. You notice we only have just 3 options, that is commands, aliases, directories, and namespaces. And that is because every other possible options is already in the file. We also get IntelliSense support, as well as some validation. The expected value is supposed to be a string. Also, we can run ACE commands by making use of the command palette, either using Command Shift P, or you go to View, then Command Palette. Then we type Adonis. Then we'll see a list of the commands that we can run. As you can see, we can run test, configure a package, generate the manifest file, view a list of routes, make command, make a controller, make an exception, and so on. Let's try making a controller. So I'm going to give the controller a name of test. Do we want the controller to be a resource? Yes or no? I'm going to enter no. That results into an error. Node command not found. I think I know why this is so. Because I didn't install Node the traditional way. I'm using something called Volta to install and manage Node.js on my computer. I think that might be the issue why Node is not being found. Probably a path thing. I don't know if there's a way to configure the Node path on the extension. Well, it's good that the extension is still in beta. So the more we get to use it, the more we get to see or identify some of the issues or bugs that it may have. Anyways, let's continue. Let's try opening the docs. As you can see, we have the full AdonisJS documentation directly inside our code editor. So we don't have to go back and forth between our browser and our editor. So we can just do everything within the editor. Pretty cool. So that is a quick run through of the official AdonisJS VS Code extension. Like I already mentioned, the extension is still in beta, aside from the little glitches and errors that I encountered, and which is understandable since the extension is still in beta. But overall, the extension is pretty cool and it can only get better going forward. So kudos to Julian for an amazing extension.